Hey everybody, welcome back. Positively Carly here. I don't feel great today, but that's all right. The boys, my son and my husband, bless their sweet little hearts, they have been like fighting this crappy cold that has been going around, and it's just kind of, kind of knocked him down and dragged him out. But I am not feeling great either. I woke up with a headache, and I thought it was just a headache, but I ate something, I ate a little breakfast, and I took like 3 Advil, and it still hasn't gone away yet. So it's kind of pissing me off. It's pissing me off that it's not going away, but it's also irritating me that I have to be at work. But luckily today is my short day, and I will be leaving in a few hours, but no one's here right now, and that's, I actually kind of like it like that. But I kind of wanted to I guess kind of catch you guys up on what's been really going on. Personally, my personal life, everything is amazing. My husband and I have never been more like together. I think that sounds really terrible of me to say together. My husband and I will be celebrating 15 years of marriage in August, but I will not lie when I tell you it has been a never-ending like cycle of peaks and valleys, which is actually pretty true for most marriages. But I feel like our valleys were particularly awful because I was particularly awful. I'm not gonna lie, I have not been a good wife, and a lot of that kind of stems from honestly how I was kind of raised to view marriage. And it's not like that probably doesn't make sense. Marriage in my family, the marriages in my family just don't last. They just don't, with an exception of one, and I've said this before in other videos, like with an exception of one, every marriage in my family has ended in divorce. I had one that, sadly ended in the passing of my uncle's second wife, but that was his second marriage. So recently we had another kind of divorce happen, but it really is not the end of the world. It is not. And I was hanging out with the person, and I was just kind of in their new place, in their new space, and I couldn't help but be terrified by what I was seeing. And, it made me very sad. It made me sad in the sense to think that, I was thinking about how our generation of kids in my family, it's like basically the grandkids, like all of the grandkids. I'm thinking it's sad because I feel like our generation was the one that should have made the marriages work, or should make the marriages work, I guess. But what really makes a marriage work? So after I left the house that I was in with the person that was newly separated, it struck me harder than I thought it was going to. Like, I thought I would be okay going into the space and just looking around and just helping them out in the sense of just trying to make them feel comfortable in the new space. But really it made me incredibly sad and terrified the crap out of me, because I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that in my marriage at all. And I used to. I mean, there was this one time that I left my husband, and it was for a reason that was terrible. And it wasn't even for the reasons that I really wanted when I told him. It was honestly because at the time that I left, my father-in-law was dying, and I had never had to experience that kind of loss before, ever. Nobody I had ever been close to like that ever died. And to kind of have to be witness to that and watch the deterioration happen, I didn't want to be around. But, you know, I think in retrospect, what I should have really asked for was just a break from the situation just for the night, which is what I really should have done. And I felt horrible. I did. I felt absolutely horrible the entire night. I didn't sleep. I came back the very next day, and I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. I was like, I wanted to, but it wasn't that I wanted to leave the marriage. I just wanted not to have to be around having to watch one of my best friends in the whole wide world die. You know, I loved my father-in-law. He was one of the few people in my life that was just, you know, great and true and kind. And they don't really make people like him anymore. You know, he was a Vietnam vet. He would never talk about it because he never wanted to make people sad, but, you know, he loved his family, he loved his home, he loved his country, he loved his grandson. And it was so hard to deal with, and I was so awful to my husband during that time, because I was being so selfish, because I was thinking, you know, what is happening to me? I'm losing my best friend. And it was like, Carly, wake up. Your husband is losing his dad. Your son is losing his grandfather. You know, this isn't just happening to you. And I had to deal with that, and I had to deal with what I had done, and it was just so shitty of me, because in retrospect, I'm not like that normally. I'm really not. I'm a good person, or at least I try to be, but you know, when I really thought about what was going to happen, I never once took into mind that had it actually happened, I was going to have to go through the exact same thing that I saw happen to my dear friend. It was like, I don't want that. And I don't want that. I don't want to get divorced. I don't want to have joint custody of my son. I don't want to have to move into a different space. I don't want that. I don't ever want that. And so I had to make a decision about how I really felt about my husband. And the truth of the matter is, it's like, you know, I sat down and I thought of all the things that he does that drive me crazy. And I'm thinking, and I'm like listing all the things in my head of the things he does that drives me crazy. And it's like, everything that he does that drives me crazy is simply his reaction to what I'm doing to him. And I had to be responsible for that. And I realized that I had to be the one to fix what I had broken. And I broke a lot in the last 14 years. And, you know, we prayed about it, and we talked about it, and I had to become more progressive in how I wanted our marriage to be. And I had to be more, for lack of a better term, and I know I might get like reamed for this, but I had to be a little bit more surrendered and submissive in our relationship. And I'm not saying that, like, you know, he, like, you know, rules over me. What I'm saying is that I had to be a little bit more wifey in my role, because I don't like to work. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't like to work. And it isn't that I want to stay home and be lazy. I don't want to